Thanks for watching this edition of the Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch digital exclusive. I'm Meredith Aldis. We're taking a look at some of my stories and other crime stories that have made headlines recently in our area. Another body has been found in Ladybird Lake. Someone out paddleboarding called Austin police to report seeing it on June 3rd. Police say they have no reason to suspect foul play, but news of the latest body discovered has reignited the public's attention, with much of the speculation surrounding the possibility of a serial killer. Investigators say there's no reason to believe that's the case. Fox 7 Austin's Katie Pratt has a closer look at the data on the bodies that have been found since 2022.
There have been at least 38 bodies found in or around Ladybird Lake since 2022, according to data obtained by Fox 7. Of those, 30 were male. About 60% were between the ages of 30 and 49. Only 2 of them were teenagers, including the body found on Tuesday.
Another paddleboarder was here out on Ladybird Lake and notified us that it appeared that an individual was deceased and floating on Ladybird Lake.
While the latest body to surface in the lake has not been identified yet, Austin police believe it's likely the teenager who went missing on Sunday. He was paddleboarding and kayaking with his family. We're told he got off to stand in shallow waters, but unknowingly was near an underwater shelf, which is a sudden drop-off in the lake.
At some point during their paddleboarding session, one of the individuals went missing from their family. He
stepped or slipped off and never resurfaced. His backpack and life jacket were still on the board.
The individual that we have today is wearing the same clothes as the person that was reported missing Sunday evening,
making him at least the 7th body of 2025 in Ladybird Lake. In the past 3 years, the causes of death have mainly been attributed to accidental drownings. Second is suicide, as well as drug overdoses and natural causes. Only 1 case has been ruled a murder. About half a dozen of these cases remain unknown. The Austin Police Department continues to reiterate that there's no reason for them to believe these deaths are connected.
San Antonio police say there's no evidence that the shooting that killed King of the Hill voice actor Jonathan Joss was connected to his sexual orientation. 59-year-old Joss was shot and killed on June 1st. Authorities have arrested the suspect, Sigfredo Alvarez Ceja, on suspicion of murder. Joss's husband, Tristan Kern de Gonzalez, says they were visiting their old home after receiving several threats over Facebook that the home would be destroyed. Gonzalez says it was there that the suspect reportedly began yelling homophobic slurs before killing the actor. But police say there's no evidence of a hate crime. Austin police have arrested a man who they say posted AI-generated explicit photos of young girls on X. I spoke to police who say they've seen an increase in this type of crime in recent years. With artificial intelligence, anyone can manipulate a photo into something it's not.
I would say that the bounds of a criminal mind are endless. So any picture that somebody can get off of social media, they can alter in AI.
Austin police say 19-year-old Jack Bellington paid someone overseas to alter photos of teen girls younger than 18 in a pornographic manner. He then posted them on X.
Many widely available generative AI tools can be weaponized to harm children.
Court records reveal Bellington had nearly 100 altered images.
We do have tools that we use to identify them. You know, it is very difficult, and it's getting increasingly difficult to tell, but the victims are what really tell the tale, because they can tell you exactly where they were and when.
APD has identified 11 victims in this case, many of which Bellington apparently knew. Police say he's been arrested before for harmful display to a minor and harassment.
We know it's scary, and we want you to know you're not alone.
She says a service through the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children called Take It Down helps remove nude or sexually exploitative imagery online.
Perhaps your picture that you sent to someone is being threatened to be posted. Maybe a generative AI photo of you is posted. Even if you're unsure whether that image has been shared, we want to help and try to remove it, and this service can help.
Newman says this is an increasingly common, disturbing threat.
In 2024 alone, NCMEC saw a 1,300% increase in cyber tip line reports that involve generative AI technology, going from 4,700 reports in 2023 to over 67,000 reports last year.
In 2023, lawmakers amended the Texas child porn possession law to include AI-modified images. Sergeant Wyrick says it's been helpful.
Because there was a lot of this stuff going on that wasn't technically illegal. It was really in poor taste and it was terrible for the victims, but we weren't able to do a whole lot. We dealt with it the best we could until, now we're really starting to get traction on some of this legislation that we've been able to use. And it really helps our victims, and gives them some respite in what they're able to do and start healing and getting over that trauma.
Austin police have announced 2 new arrests in the deadly shooting of InfoWars writer Jamie White in South Austin. That brings the total to 4 teens now facing capital murder charges. Investigators say the suspects had a history of stealing Kias, and when White interrupted them while they were burglarizing his Kia, White was shot in the head and killed. This happened in March at the Chandelier Apartments where White lived. Police have arrested 2 15-year-old boys and 17-year-olds Rodney Hill and Eloy Camarillo. Police say they are not looking for other suspects at this time. Austin police say a man has been arrested in connection with a deadly shooting on May 29th. It happened in West Austin at the West Hill Point Apartments near Mopac and Spicewood Springs. According to investigators, Waleed Bergy shot Noah Talbot after an argument about money. Talbot was taken to the hospital where he died the next day. Officers found Bergy in South Austin near Congress Avenue and Havana Street. He's been charged with first-degree murder. Court records describe what led up to a deadly shooting in Uland. A vigil was recently held for the 18-year-old San Marcos High School graduate who was killed. I spoke to those who knew Andrew Farias. Crushed cups and cans and caution tape. The morning light revealed the wreckage of what happened the night before.
This is so hard and something a mother cannot deal with.
Her son, 18-year-old Andrew Farias, a football player at San Marcos High School, had just walked across the stage and received his diploma.
I saw great potential in his life, and it always brings someone like me proud to see athletes finish school, as we saw him on Friday.
He had so much in front of him. He was ready to start Texas State in August.
This is where his graduation party was held in Uland. It started at around 10 o'clock Saturday night, and at least 100 people showed up. The homeowner, Farias' aunt, told law enforcement they started telling people to leave at around 1 in the morning. A fight broke out between 2 girls. A witness told Texas Rangers it started because girls were, quote, making faces and talking about them. Court documents say the aunt tried to break it up. Then 18-year-old Chad Lee Gardner jumped in and hit the aunt in the head with a pistol. When Farias went to confront him, Lee Gardner fired off 2 shots.
This opens everybody's eyes to stop gun violence, and he didn't deserve it.
Farias was found dead in the lawn. Lee Gardner ran away. He was later found and arrested for murder.
He deserves to live in every moment that he took from me.
Tuesday night, a vigil was held for Farias.
Andrew was willing to do what it took to be the best athlete, classmate, teammate that he could be. He was the light of the room.
Hundreds showed up to remember him.
Nothing will ever bring my baby back, but just the love that everybody has given in this community just shows so much about my baby.
U.S. Marshals say a man wanted for aggravated robbery in East Austin has been extradited from Panama. According to investigators, back in July of 2022, Brian Estevan Rios forced a woman to withdraw money from her bank account. It happened near Weberville Road and East 7th Street. In April of last year, a warrant was issued for Rios' arrest. He was later found by officials in Panama, who transferred him to the U.S. Marshals at the end of May. We're told Rios is a Colombian national without legal status in the U.S. He's been booked into the Travis County Jail. Austin police continue to investigate an overnight officer-involved shooting in North Austin. At least 2 people were injured, and the suspect is in the hospital. Fox 7 Austin's Lauren Rangel has more.
Police light up the intersection of West Anderson Lane and North Lamar Boulevard Saturday night. It's where police ended a chase with the driver in a stolen vehicle.
We are here tonight, unfortunately. We had an incident that started off as officers initiated a traffic stop for a stolen car.
Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis says during the chase, the stolen vehicle crashed with another car on the road.
The car then struck another vehicle, some innocent passengers and drivers of a car, struck that in the rear, spun around in traffic.
The damage to the vehicles was clearly visible on scene. But just after impact, the driver of the stolen vehicle shot at an APD officer, only to be met with a gunshot through the collarbone in return.
I want to say that the officers again acted very bravely. The situation where they're being fired upon, and they took action.
The suspect was taken to the hospital and is now in police custody. The officer had no injuries.
But it's safe to say the city of Austin, we are very fortunate tonight that we are not reporting on an officer being shot or an officer being killed.
The Grimes County Sheriff's Office says a registered sex offender who escaped from a psychiatric hospital in East Austin is back in custody. U.S. Marshals found him in Houston. According to investigators, on May 28th, MacArthur Deshi Mathis broke out of the Cross Creek Psychiatric and Addiction Hospital near Cameron Road and East Anderson Lane by kicking the back door open and jumping a fence. The Grimes County Sheriff's Office says he was found with help from Austin police and tips made to Crime Stoppers. We're learning more about the capture of a North Texas fugitive who was on the run for nearly a month. Sean Rabb from our sister station Fox 4 in Dallas has the story.
And I'm feeling great. You know, it's a good day, a good collaboration of law enforcement, and we put the person we needed in jail.
That person, Trevor McEwen, who was captured Monday morning after 28 days on the run, pulled out of this hole in the floor at his grandmother's house in Van Zandt County.
At the end of the day, this is old-fashioned law enforcement, boots on the ground.
For nearly a month, local, state, and federal departments have been searching for McEwen, charged with capital murder of Aaron Martinez, his neighbor in Kaufman County. He was to go to trial May 5th. That's when he cut off an ankle monitor and took off. Sheriff Brian Beaver says they got some intel on where he was, then got a search warrant.
We got our team together and we went over and executed it. Took us a little longer than what we want. He didn't want to come out, so we talked and talked, surrounded and talked, and then finally used a little tear gas. Then we couldn't find him. Still couldn't find him. And then we went and boots on the ground inside the house, and then we found a scuttle hole in the bottom that he's cut into the floor. So then we got a little negotiation with him, a little tear gas, and he decided to come on out.
The Martinez family, fearful while McEwen was free, moved out of their home to Houston until they got word Monday from Sheriff Beavers that the man accused of killing their loved one was in his jail.
This person, you know, has done something very heinous and needs to be put in jail. And the Martinez family needs justice. And, you know, finally, we've got him in custody. I think he's going to get to see justice.
Sean Rabb, Fox 4 News.
The blue light that shines on Hutto Police Officer Christopher Kelly's memory hasn't dimmed after 10 years. We got a look at how community members continue to honor the ultimate sacrifice he made.
An eternal blue glow.
It means that his life is not going unnoticed, that his servant heart meant the world to the community, to the police department, and to all of us just as much.
It burns not just in memory, but in gratitude.
Chris was a pariah to protect victims.
Chris Kelly, a protector and hero. He served in the United States Air Force and then eventually became a sergeant with the Hutto Police Department.
Everyone was drawn to Chris. I don't think Chris didn't have a friend in this police department.
Kelly was known for his sense of humor.
He always kept things lively. There was never a dull moment.
He was also known as a leader in the department.
We all knew he was going to be a chief here one day.
But on June 24th, 2015, Chris Kelly was killed. Kelly was trying to arrest a man when the suspect got into the driver's seat of the patrol car and ran him over.
I tell people that it feels like yesterday, but also feels like a lifetime ago.
A time when strangers were united by tragedy.
I think that through the tragedy, though, people were able to embrace not only the police department and police officers as human beings, but it was also able to help them be servant hearts and for them to see, some beauty in the tragedy.
Kelly's family in blue continues to remember him.
His fingerprints, his memory, his legacy is on everything that we do in this department and what we have done and what we will continue to do.
We're never going to let his name be forgotten.
To continue his legacy, Michelle started the Chris Kelly Foundation.
We continue to help first responders and military members in need financially. We also provide school scholarships. So it means a lot to be able to help the next generation as well as help those who serve us each and every day.
And they hold an annual 5K.
Just like the day that we brought Chris home, the community was there up at Schmidt Boulevard when we were heading to the Catholic Church. There wasn't a single empty space on the side of that road as we were escorting Chris to the church. The 5K is just as tremendous because all these years later, and we still see many of the same faces that were lined up along the road, holding the blue flags, wearing the shirts. 7610 that's a number that we don't forget.
Though his shift is over, his courage lives on, forever lit in blue.
Sergeant Christopher Dan Kelly, end of watch June 24th, 2015. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God, Matthew 5:9.
The 5K is the biggest fundraiser for the Chris Kelly Foundation. It's scheduled for the night of June 21st. There'll be live music, a silent auction, and a memorial for fallen officers. For more on the stories featured in this episode, you can head to our website, fox7austin.com, and click on the CrimeWatch section at the top of the page. You can also watch on our Fox Local mobile and connected TV apps. They're free to download. You can stream content on your phone as well as multiple platforms like Roku and Apple TV. Thanks for watching this episode, Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch digital exclusive. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fox 7 Austin YouTube